Hey guys, welcome back. And today we are doing Mardini day 15, which is font. So in my scene, I'm trying to do something like this, like a desk thing. Not sure which angle. Something like that, maybe. And I've already set up the scene with a couple different things. So it starts with a grid here. Let me show you. And we're making copies of that. So we got 19 pieces. And then in here we have some fonts that is set up. And then this is taking some characters and putting them through the for each here. And then this other one as well. But this one is taking up the words. And then in here, our band has also a randomization for the meta import. So each iteration has a different amount of bend. And then we're ending up with this stack of little sticky notes with text on it. We're also remeshing the font. That way when the bend comes in, it also bends it together. And then we're using a scatter and a line. We're using this grid as the floor. And we're bringing it to the copy to points. And then we're splitting it into the font and the paper. So then here we have the fonts with the different pieces there. So some of them have words, some of them have letters, and then the papers. Let's go back. And then here is kind of what we have so far. And I set up materials to grab the color of the paper, and then a different material for the text. So if we were to just look at the render, we can see that this is what it's looking like so far. So I gotta build something else to make it feel more like a desk. So maybe like some props around, and maybe we do the same idea with the books. Maybe that could be another thing. And then, yeah, this is like another sample of it. Then I was also thinking of like maybe carving in some text in here in the desk. Hello, Johan. Happy Sunday. Hope your weekend went well. Yeah, today, starting earlier, worked out because I don't have any work today. So yeah, today is Mardini day 15, and its font is the prompt. Sorry for the pause. I had to like sneeze. I don't want to blow into the microphone. All right. So here we are. This is where we're at. I'm thinking of possibly moving this to like a back piece of the wall, and then leaving the desk a little bit more empty, so then we can start adding props and things like that. So let's see, let's go back here. This is our like master. That's gonna have everything here. And then we're gonna just have a switch. We don't really need to have it connected. I just figured so it's there, visible, in case we wanted to just see one particular output from here. We can just switch it instead of having to turn off once we start merging more stuff in, turning off a bunch of different things. So maybe that's a way to do it. The only thing is that if we do it this way, we're going to lose our material assignments because they're properly assigned to only these and not this one. But yeah, we can just see what happens. So I'm going to go inside, back in here. And what our scene looks like, it's like this. We could technically move this and flip it, but it might not take the angle. So we can do a quick test. Let's see if that would work. Yeah, so our stuff starts flipping over a little bit. So we can just do it in after the copy to points. Let's bring it back. So we keep everything we have set up here. And then we'll rotate, is it on Z? So we'll do -90. Is this the correct angle? Let's see. No, it's not, because our text is on the other side. So let's go back. So if we're going to rotate on this, it would be on X. And it'll be 90. Okay, so now that's kind of like a wall. And in here, we could also do a match size, or let's just do another transform. And then just move it up. Kind of like a back wall thing. All right, so we have our sticky notes there, like as a back wall. We're gonna need also a back wall for this part here. So we can just start borrowing some of this. We'll put a grid here. And make sure this is like that. We can make it a little wider. And we'll do a null here, and we'll call this back wall. And then in here, we'll merge in another one, back wall, go inside in the merge, and put back wall. All right. And we're going to push the back wall a little bit. so our paper, our sticky notes are not going through it. And then this could be, we gotta add a little desk of some sort. So we'll go back in here. And we'll do actually a box. Nine by 6 maybe, or 5. And then we'll do like 0.2. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Let's see what else. Let's do a... Do you already know what you want to do? Polywire or polybevel, sorry. Polybevel. Something like that. Then we'll do another polybevel. And we'll select the double click on the top and the bottom. And over here. Yeah, that'd be cool. Would it be like similar to the one you did with I think you did like a chair with like a gobo kind of lighting. I think that's what you did last time, I remember. For the architectural one, I think it was. Okay, so let's do... Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the chairs definitely had a lot of detail. So yeah, that takes time. So yeah, the letters I feel like could be so many different things. So I'm doing like sticky notes, and then possibly maybe the desk may have other stuff related to fonts. Maybe there's a voxelized little cube kind of setup. I'm not sure exactly what other things I'm gonna add, but I guess as I start building it, ideas will start to kind of formulate. So I'm just gonna add a divide. It's like the easiest way to add like some geometry with the bricker, like some extra, without like messing up the geometry. That way I can add like a distortion on it, maybe just a little bit, not like this, but obviously a lot wider. I don't know, that may be too much. Or we could even use the mops fall off and do maybe like thinking, should I use an object or shape fall off? Let's try that. And we could do a box. And let's turn on this right here. Then maybe in a wrangle, I could do at p.y is equal to at mops fall off. And then we'll do plus. So we keep the current thickness. And in the mops fall off, I can go to the remap and then just lower the output max. We could always invert it too. So maybe it's just the sides. So yeah, it kind of like adds a little bit more shape. We'll see if we keep it. All right, so now we're gonna export that out. Let's make sure we have UVs. So we'll do just a UV texture. Looks like that. How would a Labs Auto UV look? Labs. Maybe this one? Let's try that one. Let's turn this one off. And then this would be like desk top. All right. Let's go back. And instead of this grid here, we'll add another one here. And we'll put the name of desktop. And in here, we'll bring in the new geometry. And we're probably gonna need to move it forward. So let's see what we have here. Oh, our sticky notes are on the other side. Okay, so maybe the desk needs to go on the other side. This way. And I guess our lighting is not hitting that area. So let's rotate it. And now in the materials, we'll add another for the desktop. We had that wood texture. We could bring it up as well. Let's move it up. Okay, let's take a look at the render. I think that's okay. Let's go back here. Let's go back into our main. And we'll put hello, hello. Hey Ali, how's it going? Let's see. Finally, I'm able to stream a little earlier. So thanks for joining. So I'm thinking of grouping this top and then blasting it so I can use it for scattering. So I just want the top piece. By normals. So we got normals here. It's showing that we have the normals, but I can't see it. Hold on. Blast. Just make sure. Okay, so there's like a little edge here. All right, so then we'll change this. And it's the top. Okay. I just wasn't seeing it. So now we just have the top. And I can use this. We can do this one right here. We'll copy that, bring it here. And instead of using that grid, it uses this one. And then we gotta copy this setup as well. Okay, so we are copying. Instead of having this whole thing networked like that, let's add a little bit of connections here. And then we can we'll add a null here. And we'll put like out sticky notes. Right, and then I can do an object merge. And then connect this here. All right, and then this one is gonna connect to this right here, I believe. Hold on, let's see what I had it set up like. So we got the scatters here. Let's move this whole thing here to the side. Okay. So what I'm copying here, this is not the geometry, or is it? Yeah, that's the geometry. And then our copy to variants should be the, is it this one? Yeah, I have this all confusing here. Let me Let me start over here. Copy this. Put it here. But our floor is not that one. It's this one here. And we'll do the object merge. That has this name. There it is. Okay, so now we have them all set up. But this might be just too much. So let's select some other pieces to blast. Thanks for your comment. Dream State Weather. If I have any tips on how to get work within Houdini that's not related to VFX, well, I work in motion design, and so most of the time what they ask or automatically think that I use is Cinema 4D. I used to use it, but I kind of forced my way to using Houdini. And I used to work for agencies, and I used to work for broadcast, and I went freelance in 2013. So most of my clients are through like agencies, and usually what I quote them is for like a project, like a final project. So I'm not really working fully with multiple people in a team. I work mainly on my own. So I can determine like what I use in terms of software. But I know a lot of people in the motion design industry are learning Houdini, learning Blender, learning Unreal Engine, and those are kind of like, I feel like the main 3D tools that are gonna probably dominate. That's kind of my prediction, my opinion. I think Houdini's super versatile, and so is Blender. Blender's used to be like very traditional, and now they introduced a few years ago the geometry nodes, which is procedural building. And then, the reason they use Unreal Engine is because of the speed of how fast you can render things. So you can export things from Blender to Unreal or Houdini to Unreal. Cinema 4D does have some stuff that is procedural, but it's not quite there yet. So I feel like the most solid 3D software for proceduralism is Houdini. So in terms of the type of work you do for freelance, what is it like? What do people know you for? Like, if they were to ask you, if they were to try to find you, like you're the to-go-to person for, animations in terms of effects, or is it like product renders? Another thing you can do is, the thing is, like, I feel like when you have like no work, you have to kind of be relentless and like keep looking, and then, sending cold calls or cold emails and presenting your work. If someone can analyze your demo, Are you showing things that are not interesting for that particular client? Sometimes you gotta cater the demo specifically to like what you're after. So even if you've done other work in the past, it might not be worth showing it to that client because they're not interested in that kind of work. So maybe catering the demo, not sure. So it's like medical animation. There is that one can be, I guess, difficult unless you like know companies that want to do that kind of work. There's also studios that do that kind of work. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Random 42. Have you seen that one? Is it like that kind of stuff that you are interested in? It's also worth seeing like who are the clients of these companies that do um, the medical animation. Okay, you're junior. Yeah, the thing is like starting off juniors is very difficult, I feel, to be as a freelancer, like working remote. I don't know if in your area you have studios that you can maybe apply for and show your demo and show what you can do. I don't know what you have locally, but I feel like it is harder when you're a junior to just kind of, you know, freelance remote on your own. I feel like it's difficult. I didn't start that way. I worked, I think, maybe since 2008. No, since 2006 to 2013. And then I went freelance remotely. But a lot of things have changed, you know, like there's people that need social media animations, smaller companies that may need, you know, maybe that kind of work. Something that also helps is creating spec projects. So like spec project like on your own, you can do like a fake commercial of something that maybe a client might be looking for. There you go. Yeah, you don't really need to tell them that you're junior. You just say, "Hey, I do 3D. I do all this stuff. If you're interested, you know, reach out." The thing too is like you got to really love like the process of doing this kind of work. Otherwise, it's going to be like really difficult to get work. Like I love the process of building stuff in 3D and learning new tools and doing different things like that. But yeah, you have to kind of just keep your head up and keep, you know, keep building, keep doing cool stuff, you know, learn maybe you can join like competitions online. Like even right now Mardini for side effects, they're doing daily challenges. This is what I'm doing basically. Today is day 15, which is font related. Cool. Yeah. So 3 years in Houdini. Yeah, try maybe just starting to do like some spec projects. Like maybe take something that you like from maybe Random 42's demo or some other company's work and try to recreate that as close as possible. And then once you feel like you're really close, you change it around a little bit, make it look different, make it your own, and start building, 5-second pieces of all these different animations that you like. And then, if you work on one of these, like maybe every 2 weeks, you finish one, by the end of the year, you're going to have, you know, probably like 50, 60 seconds of animation that you can put together in a demo reel with all the latest skills that you've learned. Gotcha. Yeah, another thing that's big is product animation stuff. So, like, people will have a product and they want to have a render for it. And sometimes, everything you see out there that looks amazing, it may not be their bread and butter in terms of the work. It's just the best work that they show. So, like, they may have other clients that like sustain them or pay them more money, but it's not work that you want to show on your demo reel. So sometimes that's kind of the thing as well. Like for me, I do a lot of different types of work. I either can't post it because of NDAs, or because it's not really like the type of work that I want to continue doing. But like once you have a solid client that you can work for, and you deliver every single time, everything's always great, they're going to want to hire you again and again and again. And then you start off little by little and then keep reaching out to new clients. Maybe the way you try different ways of approaching how you send the emails. So like not every email is the same. If you emailed a certain company, you cater towards them, like that message. No problem. All right, so let's keep going with this here. So we had little stickies. I'm wondering here, can I add a mask or a group? Yeah, we could add a group. So maybe I'll put a group here. Oh, not a ROP. Group. And not this one because the points come in from... Oh, I see. This node is kind of weird, so I'm not going to do it this way. Let's see. I'm not that familiar with scatter and align. But what I can do is just delete some of these points or like group them with a bounding box. That's my guess. Hopefully it'll work. For example, like that. And then we put desk points. And then we'll do a blast. And we're grouping points. So now we have the points scattered there, so it's not all over the desk. So if we merge these two, we're not gonna merge them, leave them merged, but now it's only in that area. So then if I wanted to move this around, I can just kind of let's see, do we have a rotate? Yeah, that's the thing with the bounding box. It doesn't have rotation. So we can just kind of do something like that. And when we can add another group, keep it the same name. And, or actually, we may need to change the name. Let's put 2. And then on the blast, we'll put the other group 2. So now I have 2 sections where we put little sticky notes. All right, and then I'm not gonna export it from here. We'll just put desktop notes. Let's go back. And in here, we'll do the desktop notes. Remove that. All right. And we'll move them up a little bit. Oops. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, this whole thing's revolved around these sticky notes at the moment. Hopefully we can start to change that a bit more. Yeah, and the cool thing about this setup is we could change the amount of lift here. You see what's happening here. It should work. So if we look at the merge, yeah, so everything kind of stays glued onto it. Not that I'm going to displace it this much, but there you go. All right. So here we can add some more materials. Let's get the desktop notes. Put that, not fonts, notes. And then we'll do the same material that we have up here. Did it work? I don't think it did. Yeah, it did work, but we need to make sure we have the same setup that we did. Let's move these up. So this setup that I have here, yeah, so these are the sticky notes, and we're bringing in that here. we got the papers, we got the fonts. All right, so we'll bring in the sticky notes here and then the fonts. So now it has the color. So yeah, I was getting the unpack because I think they're packed over here. So they're packed here. We're outputting this object merge over here, doing all of our procedures, and then we're unpacking it so we can grab the font and the notes. So we have groups already set up for that. Those groups were over here, right here on the top, font, and then note. All right, so let's get the notes. Okay, so we are exporting the correct one. So now you see they have color. And let's bring in the fonts. Fonts. All right, let's go inside. Wait, what did I do here? Let's go in here. I was in the wrong place. All right, up. Okay, so that's what we got there. It looks like there's double pieces here. Let me check to see what that exactly is. Okay, I'm not seeing something there. There's only one here. Let's go change my viewport. Okay, so desktop is bringing in the sticky notes. So this is create desktop. Let's go back to our main one and let's disconnect this. All right, so yeah, now it should work. Yeah, now we don't have that duplicate. All right, so let's look at our color palette here. Trying to think if I should add any of this stuff here. Thinking maybe the books. Let's try doing the books. Let's save this. And we could start kind of mixing things here. This was for the wall, back wall. We can move it over here. It's kind of tiny, small setup there. And we'll connect this. And then this is the, what is this setup? This is the desk. Desktop sticky notes. All right, and then we're gonna possibly do some books. Let's do something here. Let's start with a box. Something like this, right? And then let me take off the grid. And then I want to, let's see. Let's delete, or trying to think if I should extrude them. And then we just assign a material or delete the faces here. Let's delete them for now. Let's do an extrude. And we do something like that, and then up and back. Otherwise you get like opened ends here. Let's do a poly on the edge. Poly bevel. Poly bevel. Oops. Then here, I can grab that one and extrude it. Maybe. You select these, and do another poly bevel. Poly bevel. I don't know how that looks, but and then in the output bag, trying to think, we can use the first extruded and the output back extrude. Let's go into a blast. And we'll use the extrude and then delete like that. And then we'll use a bound. So it creates a box from that. Let's merge that in. Now we have like the inside part of the book, except it's a little big. So if we let's do a group by normal. Just want to see if it's going to work or not. It's doing the whole thing. So I'll just delete it. What I'm going to do is just use the transform, move the pivot to kind of that top or that kind of edge there. So on the keyboard, you can put inset when you have this cursor, this gizmo here. So instead of moving it like that, you press insert, turns into just a sphere, and then that's moving the pivot. So we can go to the front view here. Okay, and you press it back, and then we can go into regular transforms. Let's go into shaded. Right, something like that. And now I'm thinking maybe we do a grid. Just put 2 on each and then transform. I'm gonna try to see if this works. In theory, I would think it worked. Copy, transform. So I have this grid here. Let's do 1 by 1. 1. And then if I transform it up, it looks kind of like paper. And if I do a match size, and then I use the bound here, scale to fit, to fit. And now if we take a look, now our book has that in there, these little pages. It looks like it's scaling. Let's see what else we could change from the match size. Remove the uniform scale, and that should fix it. So now I could have like pages in there. Okay. I don't know, maybe something like that. If we do another copy transform. You could do like a stack of books. I think I'm gonna have to do a copy to points to do it this way. copy the points, and we'll do a line. No, this one. So now if I do this here, oops, not like that. Now I have like this randomization. There's still some space there. Yeah, so if this is the thing with the way I'm doing it now, if I want to add more, it's keeping that scale restraint. So then we're gonna constantly have to offset it. Trying to see maybe if we do, so if we scale it up a little bit, we can try a for each. I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, because it's doing a bunch of parts. We don't need all those parts. Trying to think what would be the best scenario to do this. So if we pack all these, now we have 7 pieces, which is what we want. And if we do with the attribute randomize work here, doesn't look like it would work. So maybe using the meta import, and then I have a setup here that I can just copy. Where is our meta import setup? Use it for the bend. So what if we use that? Obviously we're gonna need to change a few things. This change the name. Or no, not here. And here on scale. I'm wondering if it'll work. Okay, so it is kind of working, but it's obviously not what we want. So we'll do 0.5 and 1. Not negative. 0.2. And that's the thing, even if I have it randomized, it's not randomizing it. It's still doing it per iteration. All right, so then what I wanted to do was use the match size here, but it might not work because it needs to stack up on each other. It's just something I'm trying out. Yeah, that's not gonna work. All right, well, it was a good try. All right, let's move this here and let's remove this scale. Let's see what other tools we have here. I know there was a new, let me check side effects. They had a new tool. I remember they said labs had a couple new tools. And I remember I wanted to try it out. Side effects labs, March update. Align and distribute. Let me see. Align and distribute. What does this do? Okay, so it puts all the books in like a, so the more I have, the more, okay, so like it's like a way of seeing all your pieces. And then you can change the spacing. Random. I don't know what the random is doing. Let's see what other stuff there is. So in terms of scattering, scatter and align, that's what I'm already using. Maybe it's called layout. No. I feel like there was one that was using the states. So like you can drop copies wherever you click on. I just can't remember what that node was. If you guys know the name of the node, that would help. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else. Scattered geometry. Let me see. Scatter. I don't have it here. Let's go back. Would it be in here? What is that node? I guess it's a really old node. No, that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for. All right, let's just take a look at our books, at least in the scene. Let's bring in the books. Go in here, and we don't have a null yet for that. We don't want that many. And maybe we'll just add rotation on here, like that. So we can go in here. Let me see what I have here. Instead of doing this meta stuff, I'll delete it. I'll use the same stuff here. We technically, I mean, it is working. I'll just leave it like that. Might as well. Even though we're not using the meta, just randomizing the books there. Okay, and then let's make this out. Books. Copy that, go up, and then we go in here into our object merge and copy that output. Let's go back. Okay, and then we need to move it up. Let's make sure we save. All right, what else can we do? This is the paper part, and then this is the book part. So let's go into a, this is just the easiest way for me to do it. I'd pretty much just do a for each. Actually, it needs to be after our copies here. So let's make sure we have a blast here, blast here, and we'll put a group, call it paper, and this one, copy that, and then this would be cover, and then here in the blast, or we could do a split, and we'll put in, let's make sure we transfer. Can I transfer groups in here? Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that it didn't let you transfer groups. Or am I not seeing it? Hold on. Yeah, the groups are there. So, yeah, groups are there. Okay, so group copy. Why is it called group copy? Interesting. All right, let's see. That's really weird. I thought there was a way to do it. That if we pack it from the copy to points or copy to transform copy, that we would get the groups, but I'm not really sure why we're getting copy group. So do I need to include them here? That's interesting. So let's do an unpack here then. And then will we see the groups? Nope. So I grouped them here. We have the cover group, the paper group. Then we're using the copy and transform. Let's remove these here. And then I'm unpacking it. They're not showing up on the unpack. Maybe I need to go further steps. Camille, yeah, I'm not sure. Is this what you meant? I'm trying that out, but it's not really working how I thought it would. I know when I do just a regular pack, maybe that's what I need to do. I need to pack it before. And then when we do the unpack, no. And not pack this. Let me change the background here. Okay, so I was seeing it wrong. Not sure what that was about. So let's see. Let's add color. We could just do it here instead then. No, we can't do it there either, because I want to have the copies. So let's do, so I guess I'm gonna have to do 2 setups. I didn't want to do that. So I have the paper and the other piece, and then right here, attribute randomize. I wanted to get randomized colors here. Right, and let's actually mirror that setup. So anything we change on one, it does it to the other. And then instead of doing it here, we just do a merge. All right, so we got, so now we have the 2 setups. I didn't really want to do it that way, but I guess that's my workaround right now. All right, and then in here we got to unpack, so then that way we could see the, we could assign it. So here's the books. Let's create another like a sticky, no, not the stick, yeah, like the sticky note, but we're gonna change it to book, and we're gonna remove the subsurface scatter we had here. Just take all that off. Let's go and add another material. Under books, and we'll add our book. Okay, so now we have the books there. Let's add some coat. I don't know, something like that. Let's move it to and I'm thinking technically I could probably link all of these together, like one after another. Let's see. Will we get any issues? Okay, so if we didn't want to do it that way, so it's cleaner, I guess. Like that. Probably gonna need just more space for other objects. Okay, so let's move this, I don't know, towards the back. And I feel like it's like too randomized. Maybe let's lower the amount. And that is under our copy to transform here. And we have, let's do like 25, 25. Okay, so that's not what I wanted. Did I mess it up? I think I messed it up. Let's look at forgot what was the H script for the randomization. Is it like PT num? What was our delete? So if we had this really, it wasn't really doing much of a randomization. I don't know if it's gonna work. What do you guys think? Do you guys know a way to randomize this? RY. No, none of this is working. Okay, we'll leave it like that. Delete channels. We'll add just like a, I don't know. Let's see something else. I could probably do it with the orient. So these are primitives, right? And then we have 8 here, we have 8 there. We can, so before we merge them, we could do a for each connected piece. Wait, what happened here? So we got 16. Okay, so we gotta pack this. No, that's not gonna work. Can I pack by transfer attribute? Because we're doing a regular pack, it's putting everything into 1 point, but we want it to be in 8 points. What about an assemble? Let's try an assemble. Let's try the for each now. For each connected piece, because now it's showing up 8 pieces. All right, if we see single pass, perfect. So now what I want to do is pack this. Now I can get points, and then we can do the attribute randomize. And then we'll do orient, think. No. Let's see. Yes, I do. I do have a Discord channel. Let me see. I'll put it in the link. Usually I just send the Discord channel to people that have bought some of the tools that I have on my store. But I'll share it with you. Let me see, where's the Discord? Let's do a invite to server, copy. No, you could join. I mean, it's fine. It'll just be here, the chat. So I know you've joined the streams before. All right, so let's see. I do have some free tools also in my Gumroad that you might find interesting. Well, I have one. Because what was happening is that I was getting a lot of spam when it was free. So here's the Gumroad. The one that I have free is the Cryptomat tools for Houdini. I don't know how long I'll have it there for free. But check it out. It's a way to be able to select Cryptomats in cops much easier. And you can like auto split the Cryptomats with once you have them loaded on the file, and it gives you that one file that gives you all the Cryptomats in one node. The split layers will actually create all the Cryptomat nodes connected to that one node. All right, so let's see. So we have Orient, and it's not really working how I thought. Let's look at the geometry spreadsheet. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we could stay connected after the stream. Is fine. I appreciate that. And yeah, we can talk Houdini stuff. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm having issues with trying to get this working. Let me go back to the stream. Okay. Yeah, I'm not liking this node here, the copy transform. I feel like it's kind of limited. Let's see what Chat GPT says with the randomization. No. That's what I tried before. Google was saying something along the lines of that. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. That is wrong. All right. Or would I need a packet and then... Nope. Well, we were successfully able to get our books packed into 8 pieces using the assemble. Let's go back to our main books area. All right. So I am trying to randomize using the copy and transform node. So each step of copies, we can do the regular like this, but haven't done it in this way before. With a copy to transform. I've done it with copy to points because then I can control the copy points, the actual points coming in, but because everything's streaming in through one, I'm not sure why it's doing that. If we do an attribute randomize at the beginning, let me see if that would work. I haven't tried that one. So if we do orient, yeah, it doesn't work. For some reason, just trying to randomize the stacking so it's not like in that way, like a stepping. So if you know any ideas, that would be helpful. Otherwise, we can just manually do it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I've done it many times with this. So I just do attribute randomize. And then I do orient. And then I just kind of reduce the amount here. And then I have what I want here, right? But for some reason, I can't do that here. It kind of sucks. I feel like it should have that feature that maybe it has like a randomization in here. Like you just tick on randomization and then it should work. Maybe if I do steps of, you said 90. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean that can work too. Maybe just slightly over 90. Yeah, I think it's okay like this, to be honest. Let's turn all this off. Yeah. I'll leave it like this. I think it looks sort of natural. So we can move forward with some other stuff. How's it going with yours? We can also do let's change the color of the books so they're not all the same like that. And I usually do an attribute VOP and connect color. Color to color. And then I do a ramp. ramp parameter. And then you can bring in colors. Well, we have to step back. And we can add our colors here. Okay, cool. Nice. I'll check it out. All right. We can change, let's see what we got here in the presets. Inferno. Two-tone. Maybe we do something like we have here. Can I just copy the stuff here? Let's do constant. Okay, and then we can use the attribute randomize on the global. Use the seed. We can just shuffle around. I don't know, something like that maybe. And then I feel like the scene is still pretty dark. So let's add area light. And then the save, of course. And let's see where that area light is. Something like that. Maybe it's an overhead light. We can do a spotlight and lower the cone. All right, maybe something like that. What if we darken? Let's turn off the Karma Physical. That looks interesting. I don't know what you guys think. I think it looks kind of cool. Let's let's do another light on the side, maybe. But yeah, let's turn it off and let's add some exposure. Right, and let's go back up to our main sticky node setup, and we can add some more pieces. So let's go. So in here, no, this one here for the desk. Coverage, let's do 15. I think the problem is the overlapping here. I don't like. I know pointer there's gonna be too crazy, but let's see what we can do. Let's do 0 on X and Z and 0.1. Nah, that won't work. Relax iterations. No, that made it worse. So there's a checkbox that says remove overlapping points. I guess relaxing them like by 2 points helps a little bit. I don't know. All right, let's check the render. And maybe we don't render it from this angle because then we could see more. Maybe it's something like that. And then let's add a light to kind of give it some front light. Or like off to the side. Maybe something like that. Let's add our camera in that perspective there. I don't like how this looks with the black on the paper, so maybe we extrude those pieces. So if we go back to our books, we have a right here. Let's lower the copies. And let's make sure we have a little bit of extrusion. Okay, something like that, 0.01. Let's see how it looks when it's match sized. Let's do 0.005. I guess it's stretching it. So yeah, it's stretching it, so we can try that. And then let's do a attribute randomize. Let's do, oh, we're using the transform copy here. This is what I don't like. Let's do the copy to points. Copy to points. And then we'll do a line. And then we'll just kind of add those. Wait, no, copy to curves. That's the wrong one. Copy to points. I actually haven't used copy to curves. All right. So we do the attribute randomize. Disconnect, please. And we'll do the orient. Orient. Right. We'll do the 0. And then we'll do like 0.01. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Maybe something. That's kind of funny. There, let's try something like that. Some messy books. And then that might be too messy. Okay, so here is, actually this would work for like a stack of papers. So we can probably try that as well. And, but let's go back to the orient. Something like that. Just so there's like a little variation. I don't know. Let's see what else. Let's go back. If I render this, it looks a little better now. Now we don't get that black in there. And I think I want to rotate those books as well. Like that. And then let's go into the book one more time. We're not using this anymore. And we can do a kind of I feel like I need to change this setup. Yeah, if I use the same setup that I did for the sticky papers, I might, let me troubleshoot something here. So if I go paste the setup, which what I want is to have like that book setup. So let's copy that. This one as well. We don't need a pack anything here. Let's delete the pack. Connect this, then we connect this one here. Let's just remove this for now. Right. We're removing the bend. And let's look at one pass by itself. Single pass. And let's transform that down. Why is there two pieces here? That's really just one. It's why is it not showing? Let's go to wireframe. Okay, so if we go to our side view here, you can see that's where the font is. Let's lower it just a bit. All right, so now that it's not single pass, we have all the pieces here, and we're gonna move it a little bit. And we're gonna lower the scale of the words. I might just put it on the side. Let's do that instead. This is the characters. Let's remove that. And let's do the single pass again. And we'll transform -90. We're gonna bring that here. Scale up. Right, and then bring that forward. Let's lower the scale of the font as well. Let's do an extrude just a little bit. Poly extrude. There it is. And let's transform this again. There. Okay, so then now when we look at all of them, perfect. All right, I'm hoping this will work. How did I have this set up here? So then, okay, so I need to merge in the papers, and the papers were right here. So let's merge that in here. So we have the full book. And then we're doing the copy to points, this whole little setup here. Except we're not going to use scatter and align. So we'll just do copy to points. We'll copy this section here. Let's disconnect. Let's do a line. We turned off single pass. Turn off, let's see. I think I messed up our setup here. Let's see what I have here. So everything's piping in through here. Okay, so this goes into the points. This one here. Right. But it's doing all of them as day 15, which is not what I want. We have variant. We don't need the color. Gotta make sure we transfer it out as well. There it is. So our wrangle here needed to be on the primitives. So now I have the different books with different names on there. Okay. All right, so then we just need to make sure we got color back. So when we are copying here, right, then is it a packed? I think it's packed, so attribute randomize. Gotta pack it. Or sorry, let's randomize it here. Let's remove the pack. There we are. Then we'll do a blast, or let's see if we get the group. Yeah, let's see if we get the group. we got a group for font, so let's put a color. Put font. Yeah, for me the best way is to just blast it. So blast. And unpack. So we need a paper group here, I think. Because I have a color here, and then when we're mixing it, the colors are not coming in. We're doing an attribute randomize here. Pack. So that's kind of how I need it. Then on the pack here, unpack. Okay, so there it is. I have to put multiple levels to unpack. So we'll do the font, which is not showing up for us. We'll do cover, which is what I want to color different. And then let's see what else. So we have paper. Yeah, there's something weird with packing setup that we have here. And right here, what does this say? So about color and some other attributes are not correctly set here. Blast. Yeah, it's not really working for us. All right. Unpack. Okay. We got the books. Font. Perfect. Okay, so that's what I need, part of it. Let's see, cover. We only got 2 groups here, so we gotta make sure that this group is there too. Okay, there you go. Now we can get the cover or paper. So paper, then we got the back, and then we got the text. Now, okay, and then we merge this stuff in. Sort of. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere here. And we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in. Shoot. All right, we're taking a while doing this. All right, let's make sure we can speed things up a little bit. So now, thankfully that we have this in a copy to points, we can randomize the orientation now. What I have here that I was using orient right here. Or not much. There it is. All right, perfect. Let's go back. This might be, let's go back one more time because we had an export coming out of books. We need to make sure that we have book as well. All right, and then we can lower it. No, not that much. Just something like this. Okay, so now we need to fix the colors. But I think it's pretty cool. We have different books with different titles now. Let's move the camera slightly. Okay. All right, so we have books there. Let's see what's going on with randomization color. Okay, let's see. So we got the colors working here, and we are using points. Yes, that's okay. And what we need to do is unpack them again. And hopefully that should do the trick. So now if we take a look. All right, let's look at our scene here. Let's make sure that we have books correctly assigned as well. Let's pin this, go back inside our setup, and let's make sure we have C transferred. There you go. That's what it was. And then let's get our attribute VOP that we use to change the colors. Drop it in here. And then if we wanted to add another word into the attribute, so for the text, we just gotta add another word here. I'm wondering what else we can add. We don't have Mardini in there, so let's add, or we do. Let's add another one. And then the copies are happening here. We could do an attribute randomize on the variant. Is it variant? Yeah. No. Variant. Yes. Okay. I guess it's not working like that. Let's go to the geometry spreadsheet. So I have variants here. Then when I turn it on, it doesn't update. So let's do an attribute create. Make sure that is an integer. And so if we do attribute remap, I guess it wouldn't work this way. We could do a wrangle I at variant is equal to I at 20. Okay, so we just need to randomize it. Can we do it here now? Okay, so now we can randomize it. So we have maybe like what, 4? No, like 1, 2, 3. We could remove this one. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. So we'll do 6 because I guess it includes 0. We'll just leave it like this and randomize it just a bit. It's not giving me the Mardini in there. Let's add one more of Fonte attribute. Let's do 7. Then we're randomizing it. Denoisers for like karma. Is that what you mean? Like rendering? I guess for the preview, yeah, it could be useful. I just think for final render, sometimes like it just blurs out too much of the detail. But yeah, I guess for these purposes here, it makes sense to just do the denoise. So if we do okay, not that one. This is our orient. And this is the one we want to change. Options. Trying to see what else I can do here to randomize these values because they're not really working. All right, let's leave it like this. Yeah, let's just leave it like that. Spending too much time on this. And then looks like we don't need this setup after this. So cut this and cut this. We'll keep this. And this would be the book setup. Okay, what else can we put in here? We can possibly just duplicate this setup and put more books. Why not? And here I'll just do another merge, book one. Or no, let's cut that out, go back. Do another book one here. Then we'll paste this. No, let's go one, right? And then we move it. Let's make more copies. So we'll add more copies and make the setup taller. Turn this off. Oops. All right. So whoever is in this task is studying a lot of Houdini stuff. All right. Save that. And then let's assign the material to that. So books one. And because it's the same amount of books, let's randomize them as well. So we'll go into our attribute randomize here, randomize the color, and then we randomize the text. Where was it? The variant here. Something like that. And right here, it's kind of going through. So we'll tilt it a little bit, lift it up. Let's take a look at the render now. Let's add a texture in the back. Right now it's looking pretty plain. I'm gonna go to the textures here from Grayscale Gorilla. Do they have some wall texture? Cool, they have walls. Maybe a concrete. All right, let's go back. And in our shader, we'll go in here. And if you have the tools that the JL tool suite, you can just select these textures. And then when you drag them, wait, we have height. When we drag them in here, we can create any of the materials, Material X, Open PBR, Redshift, Octane. So I use Open PBR, so it creates the material there. And then everything is connected here. Only one that didn't come through seems like it was the displacement. And I think it's because it's detecting something here. So let's go here, connect this one, and then we'll just drag it. That should be it. And then we'll do 0.01. Let's go back and then drop that into the background. I don't know if I like that texture. Let's take a look at a different one from Grayscale Gorilla. It's too grungy, I think. Maybe this one. Still concrete, but more flat. Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, so let's add one more thing here. So we'll do a font, because obviously the theme is font. Let's do side effects. All right, let's unpin. We can add some spacing on here. Extrude. Bring in the tracking a little bit. And then we do let's do a points from volume. We're gonna just make this one easy. And we'll do a copy to points. And we're gonna use a box. That box is gonna take the same scale as the separation. So now we have this kind of like voxelized side effects. We can lower the scale to get more resolution. And we probably will need to bring back the tracking. We could also do a point jitter. And do it only on the z-axis. Just slightly, so they're not all like flushed. Kafu or Kifu, how's it going? All right, let's add the other one. Stop create. And let's do the object merge here. Paste in our side effects piece there. All right, and we're gonna have to add some normals. Let's save this. Let's do a preview render. Attribute randomize. We get all the points different colors if we wanted that, or black and white. Let's do black and white and maybe. If I, let me check something here. So, oh, I see what happened. Yeah, I keep getting this issue here where it says stopped rendering fatal error. So that's why I use CPU more often for previews, because it ends up, something ends up happening and it crashes. It like bricks the XPU. So let's bring in, yeah, something like that. Just a little bit of variation. maybe not emission. Maybe we do, let's color it. Let's do like a orange. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, it happens often in my scenes when if it's happened in a few streams so far. So yeah, the way I can't even just reset the viewport, like I have to close Houdini and open it back up and then it works. So I'm not really sure if there's a different workaround without having to open it and close it and open it. All right, so let's go back to the stuff here. Let's do a oh, the grid is too low. Let's go back. Yeah, the text is under the grid, so we gotta move it up. And let's do it again. Let's do a mobs shape fall off. Something like that. Let's turn on the, so we can see it. Something like that. There it is, so only that section gets. So what I did here is just using mobs fall off, named it activate, and then a wrangle. I put I at activate equals I at active equals I at activate. And then when we run the bullet solver, it only does the sections that are white. Let's save this. Okay, I see. With the karma preview here. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm still very new to the grooming tools. I actually never used them for any projects. So yeah, I might have to do that. Same as my guess with when you do any of the other procedural previews, like the ocean stuff and so I'll have to check that out. So yeah, things are starting to get heavy here. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I guess RBD, you just export the points or like bring out the points in Solaris and then use like an instancer to bring back the broken pieces. Is that how you would use it? Excuse me. I need to get some more water. Uh-oh, we might get a crash here. All right. The other thing too that I upped and I haven't changed was the optimization, how much geometry is visible. Yeah, it's kind of freezing up on me. All right, let me open another instance. I hope we didn't lose too much. I think the whole side effects thing we didn't save. Or we did. Okay. Let me close this. All right. Let's bring this back in. All right. So let's go back a step. We had everything properly set. So let's go here. Let's put 10. Save as default. Okay. Let's turn off all of this stuff except the desk. Where is our desk? Is it the first one? No. Desktop. Okay, now let's bring this down. I might, instead of doing it this way, I might just use this top plane as the, let's bring it back to 0 and I'll use it as a collision. So we already made one for that. So here is the desk. Yeah, this is the desk part. And then we have a blast of the top. So we'll copy this one, object merge that in. And put it as the collision. We turn off. Let's turn off the ground. Oh. Is the last one is, oh, guide sim. It's the fourth input. And we'll lift it up just a bit too. Let's rewind because we're going under the ground. All right, something like that. Okay. So around this area here, do a time shift. And just delete the frame. Let's go back up. And it's like all the way down. So what is the amount we have here? We'll copy that. Okay, perfect. So now let's save it. And it's turned all of these on. Okay, and let's render it. All right, so yeah, what we lost was the material assignment. I think we have a clamp here. Yeah, we didn't assign it. Let's turn this off. Oh, let's also pack it. Yeah, I'm thinking of packing it just because, or let's go back. Let's pack it. Let's see if it helps us with any performance. Go back. And then now let's assign it the material for side effects here to not that. Let's go into a new slot for the materials and go under, let's put side effects. And now we can bring in that side effects. There it is. Let's save it before we render and Karma CPU. Let's pin it and go back here. Instead of frame 26, let's do 15. Let's do 5. I don't know, maybe something like that would work. And maybe we change the color of the text here because it's kind of merging in. The color's too similar to the desk. So let's go back, go to the shader. We're in 3 hours. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when I stream too early. I don't have pressure to finish. Then I end up spending a lot more time. Because originally I want to finish these between 2 hours. Like 1 to 2 hours. But I am like always off. Let's do a Fresnel. My dog is telling me to finish. I don't know if you heard it in the background. Let's add a sphere here. I kind of just want to have like a glowing sphere. Something to add a little bit of more interest. Not to switch. We're gonna merge it. Okay, and then we'll do a geometry light, which I haven't used yet. And we'll add just the sphere. I messed up my camera angle. All right. Save. And render. What does it look like without these lights? Looks like I'm gonna need a light. Let's see, geometry lights, enable color temperature. I guess I'm gonna have to have like a dome light that's like on 0. Yeah. And let's add more light here. Or let's do color temperature. Let's make it white. Let's do 5500. And let's add another light here. Let's add our top light. Let's turn it off. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, this one from the side flattens things out a bit. Let's get our camera and do a wider angle. Like a 20. And if we do a 1x1 or should we keep it? No, let's keep it 16:9. So maybe trying to think if I should do something like this or a closer angle. So if we were to do something more dramatic and compressed. Yeah, maybe something like that. Let's keep that angle, and then I'm just gonna go and add some more of the sticky notes. So we have the sticky notes on the desktop are these, and then we had a group. Let's add another group in here. Let's unpin this. And let's look at this here. We're gonna add a group called 3. Desk points 3, and then we'll add it here. And then we'll just move that to the front. Let's go back. And let's add a couple more spheres. Kind of want to add one on the side here, and then maybe one over here. Let's disconnect all this stuff here. Let's move it towards the back. Scale it down a bit. Brought it too far back. And let's move it up. Okay, and then we'll do one more. And that would be on the opposite side. Let's see. Oh, I copied the wrong one. Let's copy the one that we moved. And if we do negative, okay, and then we bring it here. All right, I think this might be it. Oh, and let's assign the geometry to the other spheres. Put a star here. The spheres kind of on the sides draw attention away. Maybe we bring them closer. So instead of being this much, we'll do 1. And then we'll do another one here that is 1. Or 0. And I think I'm gonna put another geometry light. We'll do 1 here, and then the second one will be sphere 2. Sphere 3. And that one will be less intensity. And the first one is the intensity of 1. Something like that. And then on our camera, we'll go into exposure, bring it up by 1. That might be too much. Let's go back to exposures. All right, I think I'm done with this one. I think I'm gonna leave it this way. 3 hours and 17 minutes is enough time. Okay, so let's render this. Let's do a karma setup here. And we'll do 1920 by 1080 XPU. And we'll wait for it to finish. How's it going, Johan, with your setup? So yeah, I'm just waiting on the render, and I'm gonna bring it into cops with the slap comp, and then just do a little minor tweaks here and there, and the render for today will be finished. So it's at 95%. And it looks like we're done. Zoom out. And if we go out in cops, cop network, go inside, there's a slap comp import. And we'll import that from last render. We'll turn off the live recook. And then we go into composite view. And this is our view here. So pretty much everything's done here. We can do a contrast and maybe like a brightness. It's called bright here. So let's see. And then you want to work with like really low numbers because these are very sensitive. See? A little bit of glow on that sphere, and then final little chromatic aberration. Not that much, just a little bit, and then we'll do a ROP image output. Put day 15 font and final, and then we'll remove the hip name, remove the frame numbers, and we'll put a PNG, and we're done. And this is our final image. I hope you guys liked the stream. Let me remove myself from there. I hope you guys liked the stream. It'll be available for replay if you wanted to watch it later. But this is my final render for today for Mardini. I'm gonna go ahead and submit it. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.